Honestly, you were never my first choice. She slipped during a drunken confession. I let her sleep it off and moved out the next morning. Now her first choice just got engaged, and she's still texting me. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I used to think love was something you earned. That if you showed up, supported her dreams, listened when she cried, remembered little things she said offhand weeks ago, eventually, she'd feel safe enough to stop testing you. That she'd stop looking over your shoulder, comparing you to some imaginary version of the man she thought she'd end up with. I thought I'd proven myself to Kelsey. We'd been together for almost 3 years. I met her when she was temping at my office. I was in IT. She was doing admin while job hunting. I brought her coffee once. She laughed at my dry sarcasm, and within a month we were inseparable. Or so I thought. She'd been through a lot. A bad breakup, 2 moves, a health scare with her mom. I stayed by her side through all of it. Not because I wanted credit, but because that's what you do when you love someone. You stay. But over time, the comments started. Small things. You never take risks like Alex. Adam always knew how to have fun, not just work all the time. Or the classic, you're lucky I like boring guys. I'd laugh it off, thinking it was just her way of teasing. But the jokes stopped being funny. We'd go to restaurants I knew she liked, but she'd barely touch her food and scroll Instagram the whole time. I'd cook dinner after work and she'd say, "It's fine," like I was a line cook at a diner. The only time she got animated was when she was talking about the past, guys who had treated her worse, ironically, but still lived in her memory rent-free. One name kept coming up, Adam. Apparently, he was her almost but not quite. They'd had crazy chemistry, but the timing was always wrong. She said it so many times I had it memorized. He was wild, but complicated, she'd say, usually after 2 glasses of wine. You're just easy, you know? Comfortable. I didn't love how she said it, but I figured comfort wasn't a bad thing. I wasn't flashy. I wasn't loud. I just showed up. Every day. That's what brought us to the housewarming party. A mutual friend had just moved in with his girlfriend, and Kelsey insisted we go. I'd had a long week, but I went anyway. I even brought a bottle of wine, the overpriced kind she liked. Kelsey got tipsy fast. She always said she was a lightweight with a dark side. I usually kept an eye on her, but this time, I figured I'd give her space to hang out with her friends. I was talking to another guy in the living room when I heard her laugh. That high, sharp laugh she only did when she was trying to impress someone. I turned and saw her in the kitchen with 2 of her old college friends. And then I heard it. I mean, Ethan's sweet, but let's be honest. He was never my first choice. If Adam had asked me out back then, I never would have even looked at Ethan. But I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't even bitter. It wasn't angry. She said it like it was nothing. Like I was nothing. One of the girls made a weird face, and Kelsey just kept rambling. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like with Adam, you know? Just more exciting. Ethan's just safe. I stood there for another second. Then I turned back around, finished my drink, and waited until she came stumbling out an hour later. When I offered to drive her home, she smiled like nothing had happened. I helped her into the car. She passed out 10 minutes into the drive, head resting against the window like a child. When we got home, I helped her inside, laid her gently in bed, and pulled the covers over her. She didn't even stir. Then I sat down on the couch and didn't sleep for a second. I left just after sunrise. Didn't slam a door. Didn't pack boxes. Just grabbed what I needed, a duffel bag with some clothes, my work laptop, toothbrush, charger, and walked out. Left the key on the kitchen counter next to the empty wine glass she hadn't cleaned up. I didn't leave a note. She'd said enough. It was a strange calm. Not rage. Not heartbreak. Just clarity. Like finally noticing a leak in your ceiling and realizing it had been there the whole time. You just didn't want to look up. I crashed on a friend's couch for a few nights. Then found a short-term sublet from a guy leaving town. No questions, no explanations. I went to work. Ate my lunch in silence. Slept better than I expected. Kelsey texted me at 9:42 a.m. that morning. Kelsey, hey, where did you go? Did you have to work early or something? I didn't answer. An hour later, Kelsey, you didn't say anything. I woke up alone. Then, Kelsey, did something happen? You're scaring me. I put my phone face down and went back to reviewing a client report. By noon, she was calling. I let it ring. Then again, I watched it light up, buzz and die. She didn't leave a voicemail. At 4:17 p.m., another text. Kelsey, can you just let me know you're okay? I'm freaking out. I didn't respond. Not because I wanted to hurt her, but because I finally understood something she never did. Silence speaks louder than begging ever could. The next day, I blocked her on Instagram, then Facebook, then Venmo, just for good measure. The digital surgery felt clean, final, like removing a splinter that had been festering for years. I left our shared Spotify playlist untouched. Let her see the empty green icon next to my name disappear. By the third day, she was reaching out to mutual friends. A buddy of mine texted, Jake, hey man, Kelsey's asking around. She says you disappeared, and she's worried. You good? I didn't answer him either. Not out of malice, but because there was nothing to explain. I hadn't ghosted her. I just finally accepted the truth she'd been whispering between the lines for years. By the weekend, I started getting paragraphs. Kelsey, I don't know what I said or did. You're being so unfair. I've been trying to talk to you, and you're just ignoring me. If something's wrong, at least be an adult and say it. Kelsey, was it something I said at the party? I honestly don't remember. If it's about Adam, I was just joking. You know that, right? Please don't let one dumb thing ruin us. That was the moment I knew she remembered exactly what she said. She wasn't confused. She just didn't think I heard it. I didn't reply. Instead, I went for a long walk. Bought myself dinner. Watched the sun set from a park bench near the river. I hadn't done that in years, just sit with myself. The strange part? It didn't feel like a breakup. It felt like I had escaped something. Like I'd finally stopped trying to prove to someone that I was worth loving. And she had given me the answer, loud and clear. I was never her first choice. Just the safe one. It took her a week to stop pretending she didn't remember. The texts went from confused to passive-aggressive to apologetic in record time. Kelsey, you're really gonna ghost me after everything we've been through? Kelsey, fine. If you're done, at least say so instead of acting like a child. Kelsey, I'm sorry, okay? I was drunk. I was venting to my friends. It didn't mean anything. Still, I didn't answer. I didn't know her closure for something she handed me without realizing I'd overheard it. She knew what she said, and it was never about Adam. Not really. It was about how she saw me, as something to settle for. A placeholder. A soft landing until something more exciting came along. And she didn't just say it in private. She said it publicly. With a smile. With pride. Like I should be grateful to even be in the room. By the third week, she started posting those classic desperation stories on Instagram. You don't know what you got till it's gone. Old photo of us holding hands at a concert. Tagged memories. Poll. Do people ever come back after a fight? I didn't watch a single one. But my friends did. Jake sent me a screenshot of one of her captions. People don't throw away something real unless they never cared in the first place. Broken heart. He followed it with, she's losing it, dude. I didn't respond. Then the Adam arc started. A mutual friend mentioned he'd moved back to the city. She bumped into him at a gallery opening and posted a pic of the back of his head. Real subtle. Then came the soft launch era. Dinner plates across from a man's arm. Spontaneous nights, planned ones. Some people just get you. I didn't care. And she knew it. The post got more obvious. Timing is everything. Second chances aren't for everyone. Just the ones who matter. By then, I had muted her account, even though I wasn't following it. She kept it public. Of course she did. Kelsey didn't do subtle. She did staged vulnerability and curated breakdowns. But she was still trying to get my attention, not his. And I wasn't giving either. The real punch landed 4 months after I walked away. It was a Thursday. I was finishing up a late lunch when Jake texted me 2 words. Jake, he's engaged. I didn't even need to ask who he was. A few minutes later, I saw the screenshot. Adam, her golden boy, the man she fantasized about out loud, had posted a photo of a ring on a woman's hand. She said yes. Italy, here we come. Her name was Lena. She was stunning. And most importantly, she wasn't Kelsey. I scrolled through the post out of morbid curiosity. They'd met while working abroad over the summer. Apparently, they'd kept things quiet until now. Lena had one of those painfully elegant smiles and a PhD in environmental law. The caption made it clear they were planning a wedding, not an Instagram stunt. I waited for Kelsey's reaction. I didn't have to wait long. Her timing is everything captions vanished. A week later, she posted a black screen with a single sentence. Sometimes the people you fight hardest for are the ones who break you the worst. Then came the oversharing. I'm tired of being used. Some people never deserved you in the first place. Healing isn't linear, and neither is grief. No more cryptic dinner photos. No arm-in-frame soft launches. No sparkle emoji. She messaged me again 2 days later. Kelsey, I know you don't want to hear from me, but I can't stop thinking about what we had. I've been so lost lately. I know I said terrible things, but they weren't true. Not really. I was scared. I didn't know how to be loved the way you loved me. Then a voice memo. I didn't listen to it. Then a second message. I saw the engagement post. I guess you heard. Still, I said nothing. That was when her friends started reaching out. Jake showed me a message he got. Kelsey, do you think Ethan would ever talk to me again? I just want to explain. That's all. Another one came from her old roommate, Katie, who had always pretended to like me. Katie, hey, I know this is random, but Kelsey's been really down lately. I think she's finally realizing what she lost. Not that it's your job to care, just maybe hearing her out wouldn't kill you. I didn't answer Katie either, because the truth was, nothing she said now mattered. She didn't lose me when Adam got engaged. She lost me the second she called me safe, with a drink in her hand and a smile on her face, like I was a consolation prize. Now she just finally felt the absence. But I'd already built something better, my peace. 2 more weeks passed before she showed up in person. It was late afternoon. I had just gotten back from the gym when I heard the knock on my apartment door. Not the usual polite tap, but an impatient, uneven rhythm. I checked the peephole and saw her. Kelsey. No makeup. Hair tied up. Puffy eyes. Hoodie and leggings like she hadn't changed clothes in days. I considered not opening the door. But something told me this needed to happen. Not for her closure, but for mine. I opened it. She froze when she saw me. I said nothing. Just stood there, holding the door half open. Kelsey. Hey, can I come in? I didn't move. Kelsey, please. I won't take long. I didn't know how else to talk to you. I stepped aside. She walked in slowly, looking around like it was the first time she'd ever really seen the place. Clean, organized, peaceful. No trace of her in sight. She sat down on the edge of the couch like it might reject her. Kelsey, I miss you. I said nothing. Kelsey, I know I screwed up. I know I said awful things. I wasn't thinking clearly that night. I was drunk. I was being performative, trying to sound cool in front of people I hadn't seen in years. But that's not how I really feel about you. I leaned against the wall, arms crossed. Kelsey, you were always good to me. You were steady. You cared about me in ways no one ever did. And I took it for granted. I see that now. You didn't deserve what I said. I wish I could take it back. She looked at me like she was waiting for me to jump in, but I didn't. Kelsey, after you left, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I kept thinking you'd come back, that we'd talk, that you'd want to fix it, but you just vanished. And Adam, he was never what I thought he was. He didn't want anything real. He just liked the attention. I chased a fantasy and lost the only person who ever actually loved me. I was stupid, but I'm here now, and I'm asking you, please, just talk to me. There it was. The shift. From smug dismissal to shaky desperation. The same voice that once said I was never her first choice was now begging to be seen. I finally spoke. Me, you're not sorry for what you said. You're sorry I heard it. Her face fell, instantly. Me, you knew exactly how you saw me. You just never thought I'd walk away. And now you're not here because you miss me. You're here because Adam didn't choose you either. She started crying. I didn't flinch. Kelsey, that's not true. I do miss you. You were everything to me. I was scared. I didn't know how to handle being with someone good. Me. Then go figure that out. Somewhere else. She covered her mouth, trying to hold back a sob. I stood up straight. Me. I loved you. Fully. And you treated it like a fallback plan. So no, we're not talking again. We're not friends. We're not reconnecting. We're nothing. I opened the door. Me. Goodbye, Kelsey. She didn't move for a second. Then she stood up, looked at me like she wanted to scream, then walked out without another word. I closed the door gently, locked it, and finally, felt free. A month later, I got invited to a friend's engagement party. Jake's older sister, Natalie, was getting married to a guy I'd met once. Great dude. They were throwing a small party at a rooftop lounge downtown, and I figured, why not? It wasn't really my scene, but I felt like showing up. I was in a new suit. Lost 10 pounds. Got promoted at work. Started dating casually again. Nothing serious, just light and effortless. Life felt clean. When I walked in, I saw a few familiar faces. Jake waved me over. There was laughter, champagne, music. And then I saw her. Kelsey. Alone in the corner, sipping water out of a plastic cup, wearing too much makeup and a strained smile. Apparently, she was friends with Natalie's cousin or something, whatever. She saw me before I saw her. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. She hesitated. Then she started walking over. Jake muttered under his breath. She's coming this way. Want me to run interference? Me, nah. Let her talk. She stopped in front of me like she didn't know how to start. Kelsey, hey. Me, hey. Kelsey, you look good. Me, thanks. Kelsey, I didn't expect to see you here. Me, yeah? Most people don't. She swallowed hard. Kelsey, I've been meaning to say I'm happy for you. I've heard you're doing well. Me, I am. She paused. Kelsey, do you ever think about us? I gave her a half smile. Not cruel, just clear. Me, only when someone asks me why I stayed single for a while. That landed harder than I expected. Kelsey, you don't have to be mean. Me, I'm not. Just honest. She looked like she wanted to argue, to cry, to scream. Instead, she nodded. Kelsey, okay. Well, I guess I'll see you around. Me, I don't think you will. She turned and walked off slowly, back to her corner. Alone. 10 minutes later, Natalie introduced me to a friend of hers, someone I'd actually clicked with over a group chat weeks earlier. We'd never met in person. Until that night. We talked, laughed, shared stories. There was a kind of ease to it. Kelsey watched from across the room. I didn't look back. Some people only realize what they had when it's long gone. But by the time she figured it out, I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't heartbroken. I was just done. And that's when I knew I'd really won. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.